It's going to be very difficult to police, especially in open air arenas, the Blossom Music Center, things like this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of postings that weapons are prohibited, but where they're not, it is going to be very difficult to police that, and we're going to have to be very careful. If the gun CCW people are very responsible, and I believe most of them are, and they do what they're supposed to do according to the law, then our job will be a lot easier. But they have to remember that this is very touchy for law enforcement. We in law enforcement are still not used to other people carrying guns.
Have you, in preparing for this change on Friday, what have you done in your office to prepare this? Any changes, any additional education, or anything at all?
Yeah, actually, the Attorney General's office, Mike DeWine's office, sent us all the new stuff on Ohio's concealed carry law, and what we did is we passed this out not just to members in Patrol and Detective Bureau, but our deputies who are sworn deputies at the jail that work a lot of off-duty jobs. Things like that. We made sure that everybody has this the new law, and we're telling them to read it. We'll probably in in-service classes start working on it a little bit more, and maybe do some scenarios and work with our officers on what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Put them in some some real life situations.
Do you also have to do some training, I guess? I don't say you have to, but would you be open to having programs for these bars, restaurants, and venues that all of a sudden are going to have to be policing their venues?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really a great idea. We are thinking about doing that out at the training center, having permit holders and that come in and talk to us, and they can call us now or any local police department, and I'm sure they'll send somebody out. We certainly will, and we'll talk to them and work with them on whatever anxieties they might have about this here, and we'll try to work it together.
Drew, the one area that I have a big concern with in this situation is someone getting into one of these venues who is carrying, says they aren't going to have alcohol, and with dinner they have a couple, and a couple turns into 3 or 4, and you might have a problem. The other point is if there's someone else being rowdy inside of one of these venues, and all of a sudden they realize or see that you are carrying, that could be a potential problem. Do you see that as well?
Absolutely. History shows us that alcohol and weapons don't go together. Back in the Wyatt Earp days, they banned weapons in bars. So, no, they don't go together. It could be a problem if somebody decides to. They're breaking the law if they go in there and drink. So they're facing arrest. But hopefully, they're going to be responsible. If they decide they're going to drink and they're carrying, they should take that weapon back out to the car and secure it, and then they can drink and get a ride home.
Drew, let me ask you this. I've talked to a lot of people who have question marks pertaining to this addendum to the law in Ohio. How or why did this get put through?
The National Rifle Association is very strong. They have great lobbyists, and they worked the right people to get this on the books, and it is. The Constitution states that we're allowed to carry or have weapons, and the gun rights people are falling back on this here, and it did get enough support in the Ohio lawmakers to get it through.
Drew, it's important to note that Ohio's not the first state to go this way, right?
Right. There's your western states have been with CCW for years.
Joni Miller was in our studio, and I know you've talked to her from Newsnight Akron. They're doing a special on Friday night on this show, and she wanted me to ask you one question because I said, hey, Drew's coming on tomorrow. She said, is there going to be anything further in regards to gun training for those who have gotten the permit? She went through the process. Her personally did not feel that there was enough training for her to be prepared to carry a weapon. How do you see that? Is there enough, or is there something in the works?
I agree with her 100%. There 12 hours is really, and I've been very critical of this in the past on the CCW law. My deputies take 80 hours of training before they're authorized to carry a weapon. A civilian going through 12 hours doesn't get any of what they should be getting. I think there should be more training. We are going to start offering. We have a class coming up, and I forget the date of it, but it's home safety, and it talks about gun safety in the house and all that. Because a lot of the spouses or people in the house really don't know how to handle a weapon, and now they may have a weapon in the house because of the CCW laws. We are going to do that. We're going to start working with family members, and eventually what I'd like to do is start offering training to more CCW people, and it could bring them in and maybe give them another 2 days, 3 days of training. Like in gun retention, one of the things in law enforcement where officers over the years have, during scuffles, have lost their own weapon and have been shot with it, and other people have been shot with it. So we've went, in law enforcement, we really work hard on the gun retention part of it. And civilians should get that too. We should show them how to secure that weapon while it's on them. If somebody is fighting with them or wrestling with them, how to make sure that weapon doesn't fall into the wrong hands.